Bitcoin is right now rejecting from key resistance. We are potentially about to confirm this bearish head and shoulders pattern, which I've been warning about on this YouTube channel for over a week and a half. I'm going to be sharing with you the price targets that I'm looking at, as well as how I plan to trade this price action this week. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications, because we are bringing you the most timely and the juiciest Bitcoin updates here on YouTube. It's been a weekend pump and dump operation, as yesterday the Bitcoin price was getting a pretty significant move to the upside, feeling like this, only then to get a harsh rejection to the downside, feeling like this. As you can see, the price is finding local support at this key level where we longed it right from the bottom from this scalp trade setup that was given in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. But the question remains, what is going to be happening with the Bitcoin price this week? Well, let's talk about why we got this drop to the downside in the first place and build a little bit of context. This move to the downside began with a chickens drinking water trade setup. What is a chickens drinking water trade setup? That is when the price establishes a clearly defined high or a low, in this case a high, and then we get a fake out where it looks like the price wants to break out and come higher, but instead we get a fake out and a big drop to the downside. And the reason it's called a chicken drinking water is because price looks like a chicken that is drinking water. If you've ever seen a chicken drink water, what do? They take their beak, they dip it down into the water really quick, like this. Watch the hen. Boom, she dips her beak into the water. You think she's going to stick her head deeper, but what does she do? She pulls it back and then laps it up like this. Right? That's exactly what the price does, right? The price is the beak. This green line is the water. The chicken sticks her beak up and then pulls it. Okay. Now, the reason you know this is going to happen is because we are getting something called the dreaded bald-headed Gary Gensler pattern, where as the price is getting higher and higher into that previous high, the market cipher B is getting lower and lower, strangely resembling Gary Gensler's bald head, which is consistently getting more gray, more bald, and lower as the price is getting higher. And nobody knows if it's a security or not. Now, after we got this chickens drinking water trade setup, we saw a whole bunch of long trades actually getting trapped by the whales. The retail traders were consistently trying to long the dip, but the whales had other plans. If we come over to an order flow chart, we can see very, very clearly that after we get the initial chickens drinking water, price is making lower highs, but we see retail traders trying to long right here, forming bearish CVD divergences, giving us another drop, and then once again we see it here before the massive drop. Retail traders are longing, whales are absorbing those longs, looking to push the price to the downside, and boom, we get such a drastic drop. As you can see, of course, I am short. This is the short trade we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord for much higher. I have compounded this, but of course, I am still holding the swing long trade that we also gave the setup for in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Now, we have to understand the context of what is happening right here in the market to determine how we are going to trade this. If you want to join the Casper Crew VIP Discord, where we give our levels, we give our trade setups, we do 3 live streams every single day, go to jasoncaspertrading.com. Go ahead and click the link to join the Discord. Also, if you want to learn how to trade this way and do it right, we have a 25% discount on both of our trading courses that will basically take you from a complete beginner to a confident, profitable trader. If you want to take advantage of the volatility and trade these markets, click the link in the pinned comment and the description to sign up for MEXC. This is the new exchange I will be using, one of the new exchanges, for 0% limit order fees and 33% off taker fees. Also, some other sign-up bonuses, a great deal if you know how to trade. I will be trading now on MEXC and Bitget. If you want to sign up for different kinds of deposit rewards and stuff, click the links in the description and pinned comments, of course. Only do this if you know how to trade. Bitcoin is coming up to this key resistance as we are potentially forming this bearish head and shoulders pattern. So here are the things that we need to be aware of. First of all, because we are back down inside of the value area of the range, it becomes more probable than not that we actually do get a move lower, coming down exactly to test the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern, where we also find the value area low of the range. Now, here are a few things we really need to be aware of. First of all, when you have a pattern like this, retail traders often get trapped trying to trade the breakout, or in this case, the breakdown of the pattern. We need to be aware that when we start to break down from this pattern, we are coming into a very key zone of support, which is going to be the Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786 zone. We also need to be aware that as we come down into that zone, the 4-hour market cipher B will actually be printing bullish divergences with money flow getting higher. So we do need to be cautious, in my opinion, shorting the breakdown of this potential potential head and shoulders pattern, as we're going to be shorting directly into support right now. But here's something else that we do need to be aware of. If we in fact do break down from this head and shoulders pattern and then get a retest, then in my opinion, this is going to become very bearish, because for the first time since November, we are actually going to be breaking market structure locally here on the weekly time frame, making a lower low, and then potentially even coming back down into this massive range right here that we traded from May 2022 all the way until the breakout in March 2023. And we understand what the price is always trying to do is establish equilibrium, establish a fair value. If the price has established historically a fair value between two price points, which it did right here, and then we get a deviation, but then we come back down inside, that is actually showing us that the market wants to continue to trade at the previous fair prices, and it's more probable than that that we make our way back down to some of these lower zones. And if that happens, then we need to change our bias locally from maybe being a little bit more bullish to maybe being a little bit more bearish. Now, of course, I am still very bullish on Bitcoin in the long term. Check out the video I made yesterday and I'll explain all about that. But if we do come down to the $25,000 area and we don't find support here, then we need to be realistic and wait until we come back down to that $21,000 area. And if we don't find support there, we can look for lower lows. This is just the way technical analysis works. If then scenarios, if the price loses supports and gets more bearish back tests, well, then we can look to short for lower prices. However, if the Bitcoin price is actually going to hold the trend line and potentially find support at this Fibonacci golden pocket, this could even so be the opportunity for a very juicy long trade to actually long to another high. Because keep in mind, when we are looking at Market Cipher B, when we are looking for trade entries, this is very important. We cannot know what the price is going to do. As traders, we can't know. Anybody who's making predictions on here on YouTube, they're just taking a shot in the dark. Sometimes they're going to be right, sometimes they're going to be wrong. So I take a different approach. I don't care what the price is going to do. I go based on probabilities, and I can say, look, if price comes down to the level underneath this head and shoulders pattern, we understand that there's key support right here. Given that fact, if I'm going to see Market Cipher B continuing to print higher money flow and higher momentum waves, I know that I can take a long trade there using good risk management, and the probabilities are in my favor that we can get a move to the upside, right? So we need to be watching Market Cipher B on that 4-hour time frame to see if we're going to get these continued bullish divergences. And if anybody doesn't know what a divergence is when the price is consistently making lower lows, but the oscillator is consistently making higher lows. Okay, so these are the two main scenarios that we need to be aware of, in my opinion, a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario, and then we trade accordingly. Guys, I'm a huge proponent of being as self-sufficient as possible, and here are some of the things that I do every single day to become more and more self-sufficient. When I'm growing food, I'm focusing on things that I know can produce a lot of calories and just a few crops that if I had to survive on them alone, I could. And so I'm a huge fan of growing potatoes. I'm a huge fan of growing squash, pumpkins and things like that where you can eat the seeds. But also, one of my favorite things to grow are beans. This is a garden bed that I've just put a whole bunch of compost in. I'm going to be growing beans here, a lot of beans. And the thing I like about beans is, number one, they're high in protein. Number two, they are high in carbohydrates. Number three, they're very easy to grow. And number four, they're very easy to store. And so I think if you're trying to become more and more self-sufficient, beans is a great thing that you can start to grow, along with other things like potatoes, like squashes, like greens, and of course, guys, chickens. All right, y'all, that is it for today's video. May you all be blessed in the name of Yeshua, Jesus, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed. And I will see everybody in the next video. Peace!